What's up guys, welcome back to Gladiators Tribe, and today on our playtest is a racket that is honestly, the review of this thing is long overdue because this is the Head Gravity Pro 2025, and I myself have been using the Head Gravity lineup since it was first introduced back in 2021, 2020, I don't even know, a long time ago, and I've been using the Gravity lineup ever since. And this new update has been on the market already for a few months, and I just couldn't get my hands on one, and now the time has come. Updated with the Exotic 2.0 technology, this should be one hell of a racket, but there's only one way to find out. Check out the specs. Okay guys, so here's the thing with the Head Gravity Pro 2025, or I should say with the whole Head Gravity Pro lineup. I have potentially been the most active ambassador of the racket since its launch in 2019. I've been screaming Head Gravity Pro left, right and center no matter what the topic of the discussion was, because I truly love these rackets and think that they are up there with some of the best frames ever made, if it fits your style of play, of course. But there's a catch, and the catch is that when the previous version of the Head Gravity Pro came out, I switched to it as soon as I was done with the playtest because I loved it so much. I love the comfort, the size of the sweet spot, and it just seemed like it did everything better than the predecessor. And the only thing that you could really argue is that the feel of the racket wasn't as precise. It was still good and I really loved it, but it was just not as precise and was more user friendly and comfortable. But was it enough to hold me back from switching to the new Gravity? Absolutely not, but it was, however, enough to make me switch back to the previous version after playing with the new one for a year. And although the new racket was more user-friendly, more comfortable, plushy, and less likely to cause an injury, that feel was something that I, in particular, couldn't give up in my game, no matter the fact that it's better in pretty much every other aspect of the game. It was almost like the first gen Exotic Gravity was like a luxury Grand Tourer, like a Bentley Continental GT, which can go 300 kilometers an hour and feel like you're just chilling in your couch, and the normal first gen Gravity was like a Porsche 911 GT3, maybe not so comfortable but crazy fast and as precise as a scalpel. And I am more of a Porsche guy myself. Now that we've covered my history with the Head Gravities, let's get into the 2025 Gravity. It seemed to me like the newest Gravity is somewhere in between those two, and I did feel a bit more when it came to the contact with the ball, but I still felt the awesome comfort that comes with the Exotic implementation. On the forehands, the sweet spot seemed massive and the stability was good like it always is with all Gravity Pros, but I did feel some lack of penetration. I feel like I would prefer the balance of the racket if it was shifted slightly more towards the head to help with the flow through, and that's an easy fix with some lead in the hook. What I did feel is that with the Razor soft string, the spin was greatly improved. I'm not sure if it's just me because I don't remember Head claiming anything about spin improvement in the new Head Gravity, but it did seem to me like whipping the ball was way easier with the new one. For the record, I did playtest the previous version with the same string. Glads, if you feel like you already want to be part of the Head Gravity Pro Gladiators family and get yourself one of these beauties, you know where to get it. The link to get this racket or anything else tennis related is going to be down in the description below, like always, with our discount code that will save you some cash, and that also really helps the channel, and it's a win-win situation. And yeah, what can be better? But back to the review. On the backhands, the situation is still as good as always. Great stability, great control, and the lack of penetration here is not as noticeable, although some lead would still definitely improve it. But I mean, the feel of the Gravity Pro backhand is literally the benchmark for all my racket reviews, and that's the thing I compare them to whenever I talk about backhand. So yeah, quite great. Volleys were also very good. Good feel on contact with the ball, stable and precise. Serves were actually similar to the previous version of the Gravity, maybe just slightly dialed in. A little crispier feel, but the rest was as expected. Stable and powerful enough to produce precise down the tee aces and be able to cut slice open angles like it's nobody's business. And now with the improved spin, for some reason the top spin kicks are feeling very solid as well. So what's my verdict with this new Head Gravity Pro? Well, right now I'm super tempted to switch to it again, but having learned from my previous experience, I wouldn't rush into that decision just yet. I will give the new Gravity a few more weeks and sessions and then make my mind up about the switch. Glad, sorry to interrupt the video once again, but for all of you Glads wondering what is this tracked by Swing Vision watermark in the corner of the frame is, well, I'm tracking all of the points in this video and choosing the highlights using Swing Vision, which for those of you who don't know is actually an app that allows you to track everything that's happening on the court, all the shots, all the stats, all the placements, the speeds, pretty much everything you'd want to know about your tennis is tracked by Swing Vision using AI, and then it also gives you some pretty useful advice in the end of the session on what you should do better, what you're doing well, and what things you can improve. And honestly, it's just a really awesome on-court companion that can almost potentially replace your coach, or at least, you know, partially replace your coach. And if you subscribe to Swing Vision using the link down in the description below, you will also get a free Swing Vision stick, which is usually worth like $100 if you just buy it separately. And it's one of the most easy ways of just setting up your phone to get the most optimal angle on court, to get the most precise stats from Swing Vision. But yes, with that, I'm done interrupting the video. Back to the review. As for you Glads, if you want a control-oriented racket to be able to finish every point with a down-the-line winner with a huge sweet spot and the stiffness that won't injure you and unmatched forgiveness in its class, this Gravity Pro is probably the best to hop on, as it's arguably the most user-friendly out of them all. But if you're here only for the looks of this, and no matter what I say you're going to buy this racket because of just how good it looks, and watching this video was just an excuse for your consciousness, I totally understand that too. My name is Grisha, that's it for me for today. Check out the way more balanced grades compared to the previous Gravity Pro review, and I will see you Glads in the next one. Bye-bye.
I just need time.